A ton of newly released motorcycles are heading our way. 2020 is just around the corner and it's going to be one hell of an exciting year for all motorcycle enthusiasts around the globe. So tune in your ear holes and flip up those visors. You're riding in on two wheels with 60 degrees. I'm your host, Scotty P, and here's what you need to know for 2020's newly released motorcycles, Part 1. Naked Stuff. Starting off from our list is the lowest three digits into the naked pile, the Yamaha MT125 and MT03. These two dual LED seemingly similar looking 09 lookalikes have done away with the ancient traditions of telescopic pogo sticks and upgraded to the big boy 41mm USD front forks. Upside down! So what does this mean? Well, in two-wheeled terms, better suspension, duh! Less pogo, more stiffness. The MT lineup now features a top-of-the-wazza LCD screen that displays nothing but the important stuff. And now little yummy brother 125 has undergone heart surgery with variable valve action, VVA. Actuation, even. Variable valve action. It's just a fancy way of saying variable valve timing. So what is it? What does it do? You take two intake cams, have one focus on optimizing low-end and mid-range torque power, and the other boosting top-end speed at 7,400 RPM all the way to 10,000. This, according to Yamaha, provides the MT with better engine performance and ergonomics for the screaming little single. Look at that single banger go! The MT125 displacement is actually 124.7 cc's. Who would have known? But bumps out a whopping max power of 15 ponies at 9,000 RPM and 11.5 Newton meters of torque at 8,000 RPM. Yes, that's right, 11.5 Newton meters. This little nimble machine just weighs in at 140 kilograms wet with a wheelbase of 1,325 millimeters, 100 by 80 17-inch front tyre and 140 by 70 17-inch on the rear, 292mm single disc up front and 220mm single disc at the rear, ground clearance of 140mm with a 10-litre fuel tank. The MT03 displacement and power remains the same with the 321cc parallel twin engine, but has been said to weigh 2 pounds less than the newly released R3. Probs because it's missing more than half the fairings. Anyway, the Yamaha MT03 price tag starts at $4,599 US. That's 200 bangers less than the Kawasaki Z H2 and $700 dues cheaper than the R3. Bargain, mate!
Tell him he's dreaming.
Team Green is back with some electrical upgrades for the new and improved Kawasaki Z650 and Z900. Finally, our beloved Z Series naked motorcycles got what they deserved. Keeping up with the times with the likes of its competitors, have now been fitted with the good stuffs. I'm talking about LEDs all round, ABS, traction control settings, fancy new TFT display, Bluetooth connectivity, GPS ride logs, and 4 riding modes. Boom! These budget-built quackers pack a mean punch, with the Z900 pumping out 125 badass ponies with 99 Newton meters of torque at the feet at 7,700 RPM, which means this will be the most powerful middleweight naked throughout its competition. And as for the Z650's parallel twin, we're looking at 67 ponies galloping with 66 Newton meters of torque at 7,000 RPM. It's a level field providing the best of both worlds. Much like the MT series, the Z650 and Z900 are hard to tell apart from each other as they are virtually identical in terms of shape and design. The only way to tell them apart is by identifying its engine block size that is revealed by its exposed nakedness. Next up on our list is the KTM Duke 890. Not that 790 shit. That's right! It's only been a year since the release of the 790 Duke, but KTM decided the 790 engine just wasn't enough. So why did KTM decide to increase the Duke by 100 cc's? Well, in all honesty, we could probably all agree that the KTM 790 had a lot of potential, but couldn't quite keep up with the likes of its middleweight competitors like Yamaha's MT09 or the Z900. But it's all good, because this time, KTM has finally paid attention to us dedicated riders out there, and have sought to improve the Duke with fully adjustable front fork suspension, improved brakes, and with more power! That's 121 brake horsepower at 9,250 RPM and 99 Nm of torque to be exact, whereas the previous 790 Duke only produced 103 horsepower and 87 Nm of torque. That's one hell of a jump. The Triumph Street Triple RS. Yes, Triumph have released another revised version of the 765 naked street bike, which is pretty much the same bike as the previous, but now has daytime running LED Angry Bird eyebrows. Fresh styling, look all around. It says what it says what you need. It's got what you need. An up and down blipper, improved exhaust cam, clutch and balancer, traction control, ABS, anti-wheelie control, power modes, but with no IMU system. Still pooping out the same 121 pretty ponies as the previous model, but has a dramatically overemphasized 9% increase in torque and mid-range power. All this for £10,300, which in Aussie dollars is rounded off to $1 million dues. That's an expensive puppy. Now for the most uninteresting naked of them all for 2020. BMW's F900R.
It's not that impressive.
Doing away with the F800R parallel twin and switching it up with a 900cc engine, which is actually a 895cc. Why do they do that? Why not just call it an 895? Or just add those extra 5cc? Just bore it out an extra 0.25 mil. Anyway, this parallel twin motor from BMW now produces 103 brake horsepower at 8,500 RPM and 92 Nm of torque at 6,500. Not bad! Considering the previous model only had 88.5 brake horsepower and 85 Nm. Anyway, it also features 320mm discs up front and radial mounted Brembo brakes, an itty bitty 13 litre tank, steel bridge frame, and weighing in at 211 kilograms wet. Harley is stepping up into the world of nakedness with their first sporty upright motorbike. What about the Buell? Shut up! Doesn't count. They're their own brand. Powered by a 975cc 60-degree V-twin Milwaukee engine. That was not a plug, it is actually 60 degree. The Harley-Davidson Bronx features fully adjustable suspension, Brembo brakes, and a TFT display, with Bluetooth connectivity and the usual rigmarole of traction control, power modes, and ABS. Pumping out 115 brake horsepower and 95 Nm of torque. They say it's set to challenge the MT-09, but with 10% more torque. Look out, Yamaha. America's coming to get ya!
Guess what? What? You! 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 No! You! You!
Oh yeah, and it's belt driven. Wouldn't you know? Some things never change. The price is rumoured to be between £10,000 and £15,000. Now for the most expensive bike on our list. 75th anniversary MV Agusta Brutale 1000RR with a starting price tag of €29,990, which in Aussie dollars is rounded off to $1 trillion dues. That's equivalent to 17 houses, 27 sports cars, 43 motorbikes, and 3 miniature poodles, all named Snuffles, Poochie, and Frank. This 998cc transverse inline 4 engine produces 208 brake horsepower, which is a crazy amount of power for a street performing naked bike. And with that, MV decided to add aerodynamic winglets positioned beside the radiators to improve downforce and add load to the front end, limiting lift at high speed. Because who doesn't want to travel at over 300 km an hour? Did we mention it's full of carbon fibre? Fitted with a uniquely designed TFT display that features 4 riding modes, 8-stage traction control, IMU system, launch control settings, cruise control, adjustable semi-action Olin suspension, electronic Olin steering head damper, and Bosch 9 Plus ABS system. Ooh! Let's not forget MV's Special Edition Rush 1000. It's pretty much the exact same thing, but fitted with more wank factor spiffy bits, like funky looking tail end, laced oversized spokes on the front end, and an oversized dinner plate for the rear. Yes, all this for just €33,590. Who wouldn't rush in to buy one of these? Pretty much everyone who doesn't want to look like a complete what? Just kidding, MV. You know we love your sexy styling motorcycles. Now on to the Kawasaki Z Series H2. It's a supercharged Kawasaki motorcycles. In 2015, we got the Superfast H2 and H2R, which pumped out a whopping 300 horsepower. Then in 2018, we got the all-comfort sport touring H2 SX, cruising in comfort with a superfast engine. Ooh yeah! Now we get a supercharged mega bulky Z Series H2, This juiced up bulky naked motorcycle pumps out a figure of 197 brake horsepower and 136 newton meters of torque according to Kawasaki. The reason behind this muscular design was so that the supercharger had enough breathing space to numb down on some of that O2. More air means more power! The Supercharged Z uses a set of Showa suspension with an SFF BP inverted forks at the front and a single shock at the back. Stopping power comes from Brembo with two 4-piston calipers biting into two 290mm discs at the front and a 2-piston caliper pinching a 255mm disc at the back. The bike also features a new TFT display with technical feats that include IMU electronics package, riding modes, 3 throttle input modes, electronic cruise control, assist and slipper clutch, launch and wheelie control, and more. The 2020 Kawasaki Z H2 offers at a starting price of $17,000 US. That's like a pack of Winnie Blues, 6-pack of VB, maybe a can of Red Bull. Stripped down with its exposed nakedness, sliding down the cabaret pole, producing over 200 red Ferraris. It's the Ducati Streetfighter V4. It's an engine on 2 wheels. Not just any engine, it's the 1100cc Desmo
Today, Junior!
Brutale engine found in the Panigale V4. Excuse my French. Beating out 123 newton meters of meaty torque at 11 million RPM. If you thought that was excessive, how about some carbon wingy bits? These bad boys produce 28 kilograms of downforce, with 20 up front and 8 kg on the rear, which means more traction for the action, which can only be obtained at 270 kilometers an hour, all thanks to its little chicken winglets. Because who doesn't ride at 270 kilometers an hour on the open road? Electronics! Oh yeah, nah! I'm talking about 6-axis emus, no dank and dank wheelie action, Agusta control settings, slip and slide activation tinkering, customizable riding modes, roboto suspension adjustments, and a well-placed and easy to read TFT display. Our final naked motorcycle for 2020 comes straight from our team in orange, the Generation 3 KTM Super Duke 1290R. This monstrous machine is renowned for its sharp-edged, vicious looks. It's a mental patient holding a surgical scalpel that will slice and dice you deep with its 179 brake horsepower at 9,500 RPM and 140 newton meters of pure, uncontrollable testosterone. The major changes of this two-wheel gorilla consist of a modified chassis made of all-new aluminium carbon combobulated subframe, which is stiffer and 2 kegs lighter than the previous Gen 2 model. We now get better suspension all around, like this 48mm WP Apex front fork suspension that is fully adjustable. But that's not all! An MTC lean angle detection for maximum grip on that black tarry thingy we call a road. Yes, the KTM also gets that fancy cool 6-axis EMU system to help keep things in check with lean angle sensitivity, traction control, and ABS, along with completely updated mapping in all riding modes. Not just one, all of them rides. Well, thus concludes our list of highly exposed motorcycles for 2020. There's quite an abundance of newly released motorcycles next year. Which one tickles your fancy? Let us know in the comment section below. Here at 60 Degrees, we hope you all enjoyed our not so serious, yet highly factual reveal video. It got a bit out of hand, I know. But nonetheless, we are all excited for the new year, and we can't wait to chuck a leg over these two-wheeled machines. Make sure to like and subscribe to our official channel for more serious motorcycle-related content, unlike this one. Anyways, I'm Scotty P. I'm out! Laters, peeps, and don't forget to get on your two wheels and free the soul. The major changes of this two-wheel gorilla consist of a modified chassis made of a new aluminum carbon composite. It's not flowing right, and it's f***ing me up, okay? It's just f***ing me up.
Aluminium carbon combobulated.
Exactly, that one. Fucking Jesus.